So guys, in this video what we are going to see is how to create a REST API in Spring Boot Java. So our Java Spring Boot framework. So as you can see here, first we need to create application. So in order to create application, first we need to go to the website called start.spring.io, which is free and website of the Spring Boot framework. Okay, here we need to provide the details and whatever the framework or whatever the build type, whether you want to use Gradle, Maven or anything, you can choose it. Here I am using a Gradle. Okay, so and I'm choosing the version called 3.1 and whatever the details you want to fill, you can fill it here, and whatever the Java version you have installed in your system, you can mention it here. Okay, so once you've done all these things, click the generate button. It creates a zip folder in your application. It will download the zip folder in your system. Okay, once it is done, extract the zip folder and zip file, and you can able to open this file in the IntelliJ IDE or Eclipse IDE. Here I am using a IntelliJ IDE. Fine. So next what I am going to do, as you can see, this is the default structure. So don't edit anything here. Don't try to add anything or don't try to remove anything. Inside the main folder, we have the package which we provided during the application creation. Now I am creating a new file called sample controller. So it's your wish, you can create whatever the file you want to create. Okay. So the name is your convenient, that your name, it can be anything. I am using a sample controller here. Now I am going to use annotation called request mapping. This is specifically to get the request from the it's like a common endpoint whenever we are going to access this controller. Okay, then I am going to use this one more annotation called the REST controller, which helps us to make this class into the work like a controller. Okay, now as we know, in the HTTP methods there's a four common methods which helps us to get the request. One is put, post, get and delete. Okay, so now we are going to create all these things. So first one is get mapping. Okay, so next one is about the put mapping, and in between we can create a post mapping, and then we can create a delete mapping. Okay, so now for all the four methods we need to create a one simple function which has to process the response and request. Okay, so here I am going to only process the response. I am not going to handle any request from the UI or any request. So here I can say the method name can be anything. Here I am using a get mapping. Okay, and then return response entity. As we know, in Java we need to return the appropriate response if you mention the return type. So here I am using a get. This is a simple string I am passing here. Like the same way we can create for other mapping methods as well, but we need to change the method name. As we know, in Java we cannot have the same name. Maybe different structure is available, but same name cannot be done. So I just change the name, and as I mentioned, I didn't process any request, I just process the response. Okay, and here I can say, instead of to know the different response, I'm using a appropriate difference here. So post and it is delete. Okay, so now our controller is ready, our REST API is ready. Now let us run the application and let's see will it working, is it working or not. As you can see here, whenever we are running the application, the console will automatically open, and if you have any issues, it will be mentioned here. Otherwise, it starts. As you can see here, now our application is started. Go to Postman. As we know, Postman is the tool which helps us to check the REST API. And if you go to the controller, we have created the common endpoint called sample. Go to the Postman and mention this sample here. And first we need to check for the get endpoint. Send it. As you can see here, we will get this response. This string is coming from the string which we mentioned in the return type. And if I, instead of post with the same URL, I send the request, I will get the different response. I will change the method type, HTTP method type, and with the same URL, I am hitting the server, I am getting a different response. With the same URL, I am passing the delete method, I am getting a different response. Okay guys, so if you have any questions or any queries related with programming, post in the comments, we will help you. Thank you.